I'm sure many of you watching this video have experienced sheer panic in the water. It's a feeling of losing all sense of control and really feeling that there's no way out. This may settle your mind a bit, but many swimmers go through similar experiences such as yourself. The good news is you are steps closer to conquering that fear once you understand it first. Hey everyone, this is Coach Mandy, and in this video I'm going to be explaining the fight or flight response, why it is relevant to your practice, and key strategies to help you approach your swim training. Oh, and if you're new, don't forget to click the notification bell at the bottom corner, as you'll be notified for more awesome videos that I will be posting weekly. First, I have to give a shout out to Rachel Hutchins. She's an 11-year-old competitive swimmer from Maryland. I had to rock this shirt today that she gave me because it goes with the theme of this video, and that's about being fearless. Don't let setbacks define you. Continue to move forward, dominate, and don't let any distractions get in your way. So thank you, Rachel. Go ahead and show her some love in the comment section. She's been training hard, and I'm excited to see her continue to grow and improve. No matter your skill level, whether you are novice or advanced, there are key points that you can take away from this video to help with your training. So keep watching. Now, before I get into detail, I want you to understand one thing that we all share in common, and that is we are all human. Well, I wish I was a dolphin or maybe a mermaid, but that's an entirely separate video for another time. So the fact that we are all human, we all share similar responses to the water based on how you were exposed to it. If you were lucky to have your parents take you to weekly swim classes when you were a baby, and then you continued from there, you'd probably be very comfortable in the water, even as an adult. But unfortunately, not everyone has the ability to be exposed to the water in this way. If you've had a previous traumatic incident in the water, even if you brush it off like it wasn't a big deal, but then you walked away from the pool and never went back, those situations stick with you. So much of the water is a psychological process, and it's very personal to you. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain what the fight or flight response is. So the fight or flight response is really an acute stress response that refers to a physiological change that occurs during a frightening or threatening situation, both mentally or physically. When faced with this threatening situation, your thalamus, which is located in the center of your brain, receives stimulus, and then sends out a signal to your amygdala and your cortex. When the amygdala senses danger, it makes a split-second decision and starts the fight or flight response before the cortex has time to overrule it. The response is triggered by a release of hormones that prepare your body to either deal with the situation up front or to run and flee for safety. You may have heard of the example of running from a bear that's going to attack you. What are some physiological changes that happen if you were to be in a life-threatening situation? Your pupils will dilate, your heart rate will increase, you'll just start moving as fast as you can or running as quickly as you can, and those are common responses that happen via the amygdala. Once this response is made, it stimulates the sympathetic nervous system due to that release of hormones. And the sympathetic nervous system triggers the adrenal glands, which then triggers catecholamines, which include adrenaline and noradrenaline. So when I was talking about earlier that increase in heart rate, that happens, including an increase in blood pressure, breathing rate as well. After the threat is gone, it does take about 20 to 60 minutes to get yourself back to normal. Remember that point later on in this video. And this is where it goes on to my second point. How is this relevant to your training? So I want you to imagine that you're in a pool, and your objective is to get from point A to point B, really to both ends of the pool, as fast as you possibly can go. What do you think your strategy is in order to move from one direction to the next as quickly as possible? I will take a guess for you. You're probably going to pull and kick as hard as you can to make it across the pool. Would you say that type of strategy would stimulate the fight or flight response? Probably so. What happens with this strategy is over time, you start to lift your head out of the water and you start to become more and more and more vertical. And when you're in this position in the water, this is where you are the least buoyant. And most lifeguards call this distress swimming for a reason. And that's why the fight or flight response occurs. Your body will tense up, you lock out, and then that's what happens. That's the direction you're gonna go in. Now, if you're a triathlete, you've probably experienced jumping into open water for a race and you're just thrashing around with hundreds of swimmers. and you're just trying to go as fast as possible once your feet hit the water. And you may have experienced as you keep going that your heart rate is through the roof. You could barely move your arms out of the water. And that's another experience of a fight or flight response, even though your skill level may be higher than a novice swimmer. So really it's the triggers that are different, but they still involve the same responses, whether you are a novice or a more advanced swimmer. It just happens in a different way. So it all boils down to two important factors that set off these triggers. Number one, lack of preparation. You're in a situation in the water that you have not been prepared adequately enough for that would cause that trigger to happen. And that goes to my second point, lack of expectations. You're in a situation where something surprises you. You've been caught off guard in the water and you've never experienced that before. Therefore, you just have no idea what to expect, and you at that moment feel that you are out of control. So now that you've understood what the fight or flight response is and what triggers can cause that response to happen depending on your level as a swimmer, that goes on to my final point, and that is, what type of steps can you take now to strategize your practice? So if you're already getting into the water and making a consistency with your practice, I have 3 key strategies to help you approach your training in the right way. Number one, you have to engage mentally before you engage physically. If it's just about watching videos or even doing some practice out on the pool deck, all of those are included in engaging mentally. So take your time with this in every practice and make every situation mindful. That goes on to my second one. Take your time warming up. This is a big one. I would say it takes at least 15 to 20 minutes to warm up and get relaxed, because you have tension from the day. You know, it helps you get level and able to move forward with whatever practice you intend to do for your session. And that goes on to my third point, consistency. It is more important to get to the pool frequently over a course of time rather than one long practice. It's really about getting out there frequently for small durations of time. That way you're able to move forward and get used to the situation. And that way those kind of responses, they start to just kind of fade away because you just become more comfortable in your surroundings. Don't forget, if you are new to this channel, I've included a free ebook that will help you understand this very subject. You just click the link below in the description, and I've also added some additional links to help with your training. I want to end this video by asking you this question. Have you experienced a fight or flight response in the water? And if so, did you take any steps to overcome it? Drop a comment below and share it with me. All right, you guys, I'm signing off, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and of course, stay tuned for more.